Greetings, class, and welcome to Horror 101. I am back. Your old pal, Profesor Macabro, is back, taking control of this mundane YouTube channel to bring you nothing but awesomeness. I've finally relocated my dear partner in crime, Zombie Huesitos. With the power of the Infinity Gauntlet, I was able to remove her chest implant and leave her pristine as she was the day you all met her. Well, class, it's time for another pickup video. But since I'm the one that did the pickups, you will not see any Disney or animation or lovey-dovey crap like that. It's all horror. The channel's all horror from now on. And honestly, who can stop me? I have power! I can do pretty much anything I want. Oh, the fun I've had getting rid of people that bug me. Even people that look at me funny, I can just Infinity Gauntlet, bam, gone. It is truly a thing of beauty. But let's get to what brought us to the party. Pickups, horror pickups, nothing but sweet, gorgeous pickup videos of horror movies. First off, some of you might question why I would put this as a horror pickup, since honestly it really isn't a horror movie, but it does have horror elements. It has witches, and witches are horror. It has some sort of deformed monster, and it has titties. And most horror movies, at least back in the 80s, had titties, so that kind of falls into the genre. And the movie that I picked up is Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters, starring Hawkeye and the girl from, I believe, if memory serves me right, the girl with all the gifts. And this one takes a spin on the Hansel and Gretel story, where these two little dumbass kids find a gingerbread house and start eating the candy, which happens to be the house of a witch. And the witch takes them inside, fattens up Hansel with sugar in an intent to eat him. But this one, it gives a follow-up, if you will, to that story, where Hansel and Gretel grow up to become witch hunters, because killing one witch apparently makes you qualified to kill other witches. So they go about killing witches until they meet the Grand Witch. Not to be confused with the Grand Witch of Witches, but maybe it is the same character brought back to life. We don't know. The fun thing about movies is that you can come up with all these what-if scenarios. But they come up with the Grand Witch that has this devious plan to give herself infinite power. The interesting thing about this is that Hansel, because he ate so much candy, developed diabetes. So I thought that was actually very interesting. The movie is an action fest, but still has horror elements that I found enjoyable. The next one is a movie that I will freely admit had no idea existed. Now, I like your classic monsters. I like your Frankensteins. I like your Draculas. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Your Invisible Man. Your Wolfman. I love that. Classic Universal monsters and monsters from ancient literature is very, very intriguing to me. So I always try to seek out adaptations of said monsters, and I thought I had seen them all. But surprise, surprise, I came across a movie from the 1980s called The Bride, with Sting, oddly enough, as Dr. Frankenstein, who creates the monster, renounces him as a failed experiment, and creates the bride of the Frankenstein monster. A more perfect experiment. Doesn't look all hideously deformed. Honestly, I thought for sure I had seen most of the Frankenstein adaptations, but the great thing about horror is that you do come across certain surprises, and this was indeed a surprise. Frankenstein gets obsessed with his creation, thinking that he has control and she should be his. But of course, the original monster comes back and things get complicated. And this particular thing whose Frankenstein is not the hero. No. He's more akin to the Hammer Frankenstein, where Frankenstein was a bit of a jerk and an asshole. So, but yes, very, very interesting. A pleasant surprise indeed. The next one I picked up is Asylum. Now, I had already seen and talked about a movie before called Death Tunnel. And this one is pretty much the same plot. A couple of students decide to party hardy in an abandoned asylum, and it turns out that it's haunted, and the spirits start picking them off one by one. It's your typical group of dumbasses go to a place where they shouldn't, but it's actually pretty enjoyable. I will give a review on this eventually. Now, I am a fan of Nicolas Cage in horror movies. He tends to give him a typical Nick Cage acting in his horror things. Nick Cage, of course, was in Vampire's Kiss, who in turn created all those memes you so enjoy. But in his later career, owing taxes and to the IRS and stuff like that, he has had to take whatever role is presented to him. Sometimes that gives you great performances, a la Nicolas Cage. Sometimes he's just like, oh dear God, I need this paycheck. This one falls in that area. Trespass, starring Nicolas Cage and Nicole Kidman, is a home invasion movie where a bunch of robbers break into Nicolas Cage's house looking for money that he does not have. So, drama ensues because, Nicolas Cage's character has hidden the fact that they're dead poor to the wife, and things don't go very well. Not a good Nicolas Cage movie, I'll admit. I picked it up because the premise sounded interesting. Nick Cage, home invasion movie, sold, but it's not that good. This one also might be questionable whether you want to consider it for horror, but if you're too young to actually know about this, The X-Files was a big thing in the 90s. Some episodes really were pretty scary. They pushed the boundaries, at least I thought so, pushed the boundaries of what you could do in primetime television with your alien abductions and your off-kilter episodes where some insane batshit things happened. There's actually an episode that has been banned from syndication where they encounter this hillbilly group of people. It's a very, very good show, at least until a certain point during its run. Then afterwards, kind of like went downhill. But it produced 2 movies, and the one that I picked up is the one that was needed for the Vault, The X-Files. I Want to Believe. The first X-Files movie, Fight the Future, followed the plot of the TV show. This one takes its own thing and tries to solve a mystery of a different kind. It's okay. It's not good. It's not bad. It's okay. It feels like an extended episode of the X-Files rather than a full-blown movie. And a lot of people were looking forward to this because this was released after the show canceled, so they expected a follow-up to the whole mythology, and they didn't quite get it, so a lot of people were disappointed with that. The next one I picked up is The Killer Inside Me. But this guy is going crazy. I have not seen it. I am basing myself on the synopsis on the back, but apparently this guy is starting to lose his mind and goes around killing women. But it stars Jessica Alba, and she was in Dark Angel, and she was great in Dark Angel, so that's why I picked it up. This one also, you might question why I picked it up when I said I didn't care for Disney animation, but this one is an adaptation of Frankenstein, and much like The Bride, I am a sucker for that, so I picked up Frankenweenie. It does give homage to the Frankenstein monster portrayed by Boris Karloff, so I picked it up on that merit alone. And it's about a descendant of the Frankenstein family whose dog dies, and he brings him back to life. The thing that I enjoyed most about this is that it does have a cameo by a character that looks like Vincent Price. Vincent Price is awesome, in my opinion. So I picked this one up, and it was delightful. I rather enjoyed it quite a bit. The next one I picked up is Borderlands. Actually, no, that's a video game. This is Borderland, not Lands. Common mistake. And this one is about, again, a group of dumbass people that go where they're not supposed to, and they run amok out of this cult of satanic ritual worshippers that are also trafficking? I don't know, passing cocaine through the American-Mexican border. So, what they're doing is that they're sacrificing people to their god so they don't get caught and the cocaine passes through the border patrol agents. So, they've killed a bunch of people, but it hasn't worked out that well for them, so they decide, well, you know what? Killing and sacrificing Mexicans isn't working out. Maybe we should sacrifice a white person, you know, change the flavor of the whole operation, see if that works out. So, that's what they try to do, and they go ahead and sacrifice Americans. This supposedly is inspired by a real-life event that I have not researched. Might be true, but all of these movies that are inspired by real events tend to glamorize what actually happened, but still produce enjoyable content. The next one I picked up is, I can't pronounce this very well, Exorcismus? I know. The American title of this is The Exorcism of Emma something. But it's your typical exorcism movie. You know, a child that's going through puberty and just wants to feel like an adult suddenly starts having convulsions and speaking in tongues, and everyone's like, the doctors are like, well, you know, it could be epilepsy, that's why she's twitching and speaking in tongues, so I'll give you some medication, just go away. But the parents, being religious people that they are, reach out to a family member that's a priest, and he's like, wow, what the? Do you people have you never seen Emily Rose or The Exorcism? Your kids probably exercise, I should probably do something about that. And it follows that plot. It's your typical exorcism movie. Now, if you know me, and you should at this point, I enjoy some good old ridiculous monster movies. The more ridiculous the plot, the better I enjoy it. And I've been hunting for this movie for a while, and it's finally mine. And that's Anaconda. And you're probably asking yourself, really, Professor? Anaconda? That's not a good movie. And I totally agree. It's a piece of shit, but it's an enjoyable piece of shit because of John Boyd. His mustache twirling bad guy is enjoyable. I personally hate Jennifer Lopez's guts. Actually, probably should disappear her. Well, I better not say that on the internet. You know, don't want to get in trouble. Already, a lot of people have disappeared because of Infinity Gauntlet things that I can't get back, and I don't care to bring them back. But Jennifer Lopez is in this, and that's a down point for me. That's why I was, like, resistant to see it at first. But I caved in, watched it, and laughed my ass off of this movie. Now, the movie has practical effects, which are cool, and it has some CG that sometimes looks pretty bad. But it's an enjoyable slogfest. Now I want to hunt down Anaconda versus Lake Placid. Because then you have a giant snake against a giant alligator, and that's the kind of shit I enjoy. So, yeah, got Anaconda. And the last one is a classic film of horror in the slasher genre. And that is, from 1960, the British film Peepin' Tom, in the Criterion Collection, that, as far as I know, has been out of print since 2010. And this tells the tale, well, got my CGI there. This tells the tale of a psychopath that likes to be a voyeur and watch people and watches them through his camera and looks at them and then goes full-blown clown psycho and kills them. This movie was actually banned from a number of countries because of its depiction of violence towards women, much like I've read Killer Inside Me has the same thing. People are just grossed out by that kind of thing, and this came out in the 60s in a country that is more reserved in that aspect. So imagine what this one will contain. I have never seen Peepin' Tom, but I do know that it is a hallmark of the horror genre. Before your Texas Chainsaw, before your Halloween, this movie came out, and it stars Peepin' Tom, a psycho that looks toward the lens and then kills you. I am looking forward to seeing this because I enjoy classic horror cinema. Mostly because back in the old days, they actually cared about mood and atmosphere and stuff like that and character development. Nowadays, it's just jump scare, and shitty CGI. I should probably do something about that with the gauntlet, but that will be for another time. Well, class, that was the Macabro horror pickup video. We're back, taking over the channel, with Zombie Wasitos by my side, the Infinity Gauntlet in my coffee table. I am unstoppable, and I hope you will join me in this adventure of me controlling the world. I mean me controlling the vault. Until I see you again, class, this has been Professor Macabro. That has been Zombie Wasitos. This is Peepin' Tom, which I recommend you watch. Until I see you all again, we bid you good evening.